Hello there, everybody. Ginger here again. We're not doing anything on the Catholic Church abuse crisis today. Like I said last time, it's going to be a little bit until I can do the research and everything to kind of do a wrap-up episode. So just hold your horses on that. All right. So in the meantime, since the last episode, there have been these things called midterm elections, and apparently they're not over. Why? Speculation abounds. Let's put it that way. It could just be that some places the elections are really, really close, and they made some snafus where they didn't get all of the ballots counted and everything. And some were so close that they needed a recount just to make sure, because apparently people can't do 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. So I'm not so sure, first of all, that that's legitimate. Apparently, for one, some places have rules that, like, basically if a ballot doesn't make it in before such and such time, too bad, so sad, you're done. End of story. So if random so-and-so at polling station that's still doing paper ballots that they have to hand count doesn't get them to the main collection station, whatever that is, before 9 o'clock on Wednesday or whatever the deadline is. It's supposed to be, I guess, too bad, I guess, according to some places. I don't know. And I'm not here to debate the rightness or wrongness of that. I'm just saying that's the way it is. And again, obviously not everywhere. I'm sure different places have their own different rules. I don't know what they are. So when we all woke up Wednesday morning, there was no blue wave. What we thought were final counts had the Republicans, I believe, picking up 3 Senate seats, and had the Democrats picking up, I believe, 34 seats in the House. Now, since then, some places right now, most famously Broward County down in Florida, yes, the same site as the Parkland shooting where Andrew Pollock is from, and he's not a happy camper right now. Check out his Twitter. And most famously, they seem to just keep finding votes and won't tell anyone how many they think they have, how long it'll be till they recount them. Basically, they are flat out violating existing laws on how these elections are supposed to go. Existing transparency laws that are supposed to protect elections from malfeasance, from tampering. Now that's in Broward. Let me back up. So Wednesday morning, everybody's like, okay, no blue wave, no red wave either. In fact, Steve Deace, he was promoting, he's not the originator of the theory, but he was the one I heard promoting it the most. The theory that essentially the election was happening in 2 different Americas. The Senate was happening in Trump America, and the House elections were happening in Democrat America. So you had, right was the Senate, left was the left. Left. The House was happening in lefty America. And honestly, the results kind of bear that out. At least the results as of Wednesday morning. Now some of these surprise recounts, surprise, oh, look, we found extra votes, so on and so forth, are showing that apparently are showing actually much fewer, possibly fewer Republican seats getting picked up, and more seats in the House also flipping to Democrats, possibly to the tune of upwards of 40, which is significant. Now, of course, again, aside from the suspicious nature of the fact that, oh, look, we found these extra votes just laying around. How often does this ever happen? I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. To be fair, I don't know. But I kind of get the suspicious feeling that either this happens actually all the time, that like almost in no election are all the votes ever counted. So right there, that should give you pause. Also, or it might mean that This pretty much never happens, and only tends to happen when it's a close election that Democrats really wanted to win. Obviously, that's the worst answer. The other answer also isn't really any good. So there's no great answer here. There's only bad and worse. So what on earth? And it's, of course, suspicious, as others have pointed out, that every time these close elections flip, it's always to the Democrats. Every time. Like, honestly, the only time I can remember a close election going the way of going towards the Republicans was actually the whole Bush-Gore election many, many moons ago now, which, of course, Democrats still have not let go. So, needless to say, it's suspicious. Don't get me wrong. There may be other examples. By all means, please. If there's other examples of a close election going to a Republican after recounts and everything, please let me know. Or not going, flipping to a Republican. Where we thought the Democrat won, and I was like, oh, wait, no, turns out it was a Republican. Oops. And no, don't throw out the whole Truman thing. That so totally doesn't count. So, what in the ever-living heck is going on out there? And there have also been multiple examples of voter fraud uncovered during this election. Some was uncovered in Jersey. Project Veritas did a sting in Texas where they caught people saying, hey, yeah, we let tons of DACA recipients vote. Yeah, they're not supposed to. And then, of course, you have California, which has openly, at least parts of California, have openly talked about letting illegal immigrants vote. Now, I don't know about you, but that seems awful fishy to me, and especially considering that it's Democrats who usually encourage them to come over and encourage them to vote illegally. Who do you think they're voting for? Obviously, the people that are going to vote to give them free stuff from the government. Notice I said that too. Free stuff from the government. I didn't even say give them free stuff, because you know what? People have a conservative mindset, are typically very generous on a personal level. We're happy to give you, as a rule, our time and money. We're not real keen on other people giving away our time and money. There's a very important difference there. And also, I don't think I should give away other people's time and money. Slight aside there. So the midterms right now, assuming none of this is successfully challenged, which is the most likely outcome, because every time the left challenges something, it gets thrown across all the major networks, with the exception of Fox, as being absolutely 100% legitimate. Obviously, we've got to look into it. Investigations for years. When the right challenges something like this, they're conspiracy theorists. Wackadoodle tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists podcasting from their basement. Oh wait. Okay. Anyway, let's be honest. So the right really, the right's claims of voter fraud and malfeasance, tampering, are almost always completely ignored. Almost nothing is ever done. Part of that is also the fault of our political leaders, who never push an issue. They'll talk about an issue, but by golly, will they ever push it? Will they ever push it against the disapproval of the media? Almost never. Even honestly, even Trump doesn't always push back when he should. Sometimes he pushes back when he shouldn't. He puts his energy in the wrong place. But that's a different show. So, to sum up, the initial midterm results actually weren't terrible for conservative and libertarian types. But and they weren't terrible for Democrats either, if we're being honest. But since then, through some rather suspicious recounting and poof, extra votes, I guess this happened in Wisconsin as well. incidentally. Scott Walker was looking like he might win it, and all of a sudden, poof, 9,000 extra votes or something. Huh, weird, right? And which, of course, the majority went to the Democrat. Not saying it's impossible. Not saying that. It could happen that way. But by golly, it's suspicious when it happens like all the time, people. So, anyway, the way this election might turn out, this never-ending midterm election, we're crying out loud. 2020 is already getting started. Can we finish with 2018, please? Anyway, the midterm election is still going through, and assuming the results are unchallenged, looks like it will turn out to have been a little bit of a blue wave. Now, what the results of this are going to be a couple of years down the road, it's hard to say. Mostly if these recount and extra votes wind up flipping a couple of the Senate seats back to the Democrats, that's not going to go well. Right now, it looks like the Republicans might possibly walk away with only 52 Senate seats, which isn't great. Still enough to push through a bunch of judicial nominees, which seems to be the main function of the Senate these days. And in all honesty, that'll be fine. It'll just make things rougher come 2020. As far as the House goes, let's face it, we're not getting anything through the House. There's not going to be any significant legislation passed as far as tax returns. There's not going to be any sufficient legislation passed on the wall. There's going to be nothing as far as entitlement reform. Nothing. It's as far as anything significant. Boom! It's gridlock. There's nothing going to be happening. Not that the Republicans, frankly, were doing much anyway. Again, let's be honest here. They were largely ineffective. So as far as that goes, is there going to be a huge difference? Not necessarily. There's just going to be different people running the committees, which means there's going to be, I don't know, Adam Schiff is still going to be in front of just as many cameras. Let's be, nothing's going to change there. It just might they might start some new investigations and they'll go for another 2 years or whatever. And, we'll see how it goes in 2020, I suppose. Will Trump still get reelected? Barring anything significant, probably. How will the Congress and Senate go? Who knows? Way too early to tell. A lot of it may have to do with what the results of all of these recounts actually are. And no, I believe that there is serious malfeasance going on, and at least some of these. I'm not saying all. Broward County looks fishy as all heck, since the person in charge of it has in fact been under investigation before for many things. So that's just going to keep going. So anyway, I think that's about all I have to say about that for now. Next week, who knows what we'll talk about? These are the Gingersnaps, so it's kind of whatever comes to mind, whatever I feel like talking about for 5 to 15 minutes, however long I feel like going and have time for. So until next week, be good and keep fighting the good fight.